All right, this is Mr. Wyrick going to go through some of the stuff on the semester exam review with you. First off, trig, identifying opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Again, from the angle, you'll just go across. That would be the opposite. The other one touching the angle is going to be the adjacent. Across from the 90-degree angle is going to be the hypotenuse. So this one is kind of self-explanatory, nothing too crazy to look at there. Okay. Identifying the trig ratios, the value of the cosine of V. This is a similar kind of thing. Here's V. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. I would write those all on your orange cheat sheet so you know what's going on. Make sure if it says rounded to the nearest hundredth or as a fraction in lowest terms or whatever, that you're putting the answer correct, but there's nothing too crazy to go back over there. Using trig to find a side, you'll just type that stuff in. The big thing here when you're doing those is to remember to come over here on the settings and make sure that Desmos is in degree mode. That's going to be really important. Okay. So that was using trig to find a side. Then we've got rotational symmetry. How much do you have to turn this? So this one has these 3 points that would line up. I would take 360 and divide it by those 3 turns. That would be, yes, this does have rotational symmetry, and it's 120 degrees. It lets you try it, so you don't have to go crazy on this one before you can submit. The lines of symmetry itself, you look to see where you could draw this. In this case, I need to click the line again to delete it. There we go. From the center to the center, so the flat sides line up. And then these little vertex things should also line up. And I should be able to draw in all of these that are going to work like that. Okay, so that's the lines of symmetry. Translating the figure graphically, you plot all the points of the new one. It says go 5 units right and 1 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. And I click. And then I come over here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. And I click. Up 1 and back 1, 2. That's going to be that one. And then I would just continue until I have the figure done. So just following the directions there. When you do rotation, the easiest thing to do is to actually like plot the point on scratch paper or on your cheat sheet or something, and then look at it. Counterclockwise is going to be top to the left. Clockwise is going to be take the top and turn to the right. There's a clock in the room. You can look at it if you need to figure out clockwise and counterclockwise, but that should be a good idea of what's going on. Just rotate the paper and look at where that new point is. That's going to be the best thing you can do there. Points reflected over an axis, nothing too crazy. Plot the point over the x-axis. It even has them labeled x and y. So I go down here to the x-axis. I reflect across it. There's my new point. Okay. So again, nothing beyond what you can do. Just has been a while. When it's dilation, you multiply by the scale factor. Always just multiply, multiply, multiply. So 12 times 1/3 is going to give me 4. And that just happens to be the answer for both of them on this one. If I get another one, scale factor of 1/2, I'm going to cut them in half. Scale factor of 1/4, I'm going to basically divide by 4. Scale factor of 5, I'm going to multiply by 5. If it's negative, it stays negative. If it's positive, it stays positive. Triangle congruence, I would write all these down. Angle side is one that works. Hypotenuse leg works. Side angle does not work. No donkeys in geometry. That one's bad. Side angle side works. Side is good. Angle side angle works. Angle is for similarity. It doesn't work for it being congruent. So the SSA and the AAA are going to not work. All the rest of them will work. This is side angle side. I can tell because the angle's between the two sides. If you need to draw a picture, you can draw a picture of them on your cheat sheet to kind of differentiate. Just make sure you know the difference between angle side and angle side angle. That's the ones that are the easiest to confuse. When it's similar triangles, you just go little over big, little over big. You can look at the similarity statement. Here's TU right here. TU is the first two letters here, so I know that that is QR. That matches up, TU to QR. So then I would say something like ST for the small triangle and SQ for the big triangle. You just have to match it up in the same way that the stuff they give you matches up. In this case, they gave me the bottom of the small triangle and the bottom of the big triangle, so I could pick either the right or left side and it would be just fine. Parallelogram and rhombus things here. The opposite sides are going to be congruent. So, wow, X and Z. Oh, this is a rhombus. So all four sides are going to be congruent in the rhombus, so that should just be 39. The angles in the rhombus, the opposite ones are going to be the same. The ones on the same side are going to add up to 180. Circle center, like this is x minus h plus y minus k is equal to r squared. So this is, 17 here, and this would be -5, and this would be +7. You can go back and look up some of this stuff if you need to, or look at some of the examples. I'm just kind of trying to go fast. The central and inscribed angles. When it's a central angle, the arc and the angle are equal, so this is just 60. When it's an inscribed angle, if I can find an inscribed angle, the angle, what the arc is going to be double what the angle is going to be half of the arc. So in this case, my angle is 21, my arc is going to be double that, which is 42. You just have to make sure you're going, you know which direction you're going. Okay, the arc in degrees, this is, you're going to find your entire circumference, which is 2 times pi times the radius, and then you're going to multiply that by whatever angle you have out of 360. So it's going to reduce it. You can actually do this by formula, so writing down the formula wouldn't be bad. It's going to be 2 times pi times the radius multiplied by the angle you have out of 360. Remember, 100th is 2 decimal places. That should get you good enough there. Okay. On this one, the angles formed inside, if you have one like this where it crosses the inside, you're going to add them together and divide by 2. If you have something like this that's inside, you add those arcs together, divide by 2. That's inside again. Here's one that's outside. If they meet up outside the circle, doesn't matter if it's a secant or a tangent, you subtract the arcs and then divide by 2. And then if it's on the circle, which I don't know if we're going to actually get one of those. In the circle, add. Outside the circle, subtract. Oh, there it was. Just missed it. This one. If it's on the circle like this, you're just going to take this one and you're going to divide that arc by 2. It's the same as an inscribed angle. Okay, so remember, just write that down in order like that. If they cross inside the circle, you add them and divide by 2. If it's outside the circle, you subtract and divide by 2. If it's on the circle, you just divide by 2. You only have a single arc. Okay, area of composite shapes. What's the area in square inches of the isosceles trapezoid? You average together the two bases and then take that average and then multiply by this. So 6.4 plus 16 divided by 2, and then times 5.2. Is this all just trapezoids here? Oh yeah. Find the triangle parts. So this is just 4.5 times 5 divided by 2. And then 6.7 times 5 divided by 2. So just pay attention to what you're looking at. You're just doing area. Volume of a pyramid. Volume of a pyramid is the area of the base times the height and then multiplied by 1/3. So just remember that you're going to divide by 3. It should be just fine. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then the last one here, the volume of rectangular prisms. It's the area of the base times the height. I believe these are all rectangles, so there should just be 3 numbers, and you're just gonna multiply them all together. If they give you a cube, everything is 18. Well, not everything is 18. Everything is the same measure in that case. This one's gonna be 9 times 13 times 4. So everything should come together on that one. If you have questions on these, or if you're not sure what you should write, make sure to get with me before you take your test. And hopefully that's enough help. Good luck.